My name is Jake Roper, and in the last 5 years, I went from being almost homeless to doing over 6 figures in my business. In today's video, I want to talk about 10 things that I wish I do 5 years ago. And let me start out with a story. I played college baseball, and I played sports my whole life. And when I was a sophomore, I had my best chance to that point to become a professional baseball player. That was my dream my entire life, pretty much, was to become a baseball player, a professional baseball player. And when I was a sophomore, that was my best chance. I was buddies with a good friend of mine who was a scout, and they had said that they were going to pick me up and it was all going to make sense and it was all going to work. And then COVID happened. When COVID happened, instead of having 42 rounds, there's only 10. So I wasn't picked up. And then therefore, my chance was squandered. Up until that point, I didn't have any skills whatsoever. No marketable skills. And this wasn't a long time ago. I mean, this was like, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, maybe less. But I didn't have any skills, nothing to give to the world, nothing to make money from, nothing. That moment, I recognized that my entire life I was relying on somebody else's image and my own image of myself, rather than something that I would rather do or want to do, or something that I was inspired by. Because I don't think as humans, we're supposed to be one person. I think we're supposed to have depth. We're supposed to know a lot of different things, do a lot of different things, pursue a lot of different hobbies and interests. And my first thing that I wish I knew 5 years ago was how you identify is who you are. So how you talk to yourself, how you imagine yourself, how you see yourself in your perspective in the world, and what other people say about you dictates who you are. This self-talk, I don't really believe in manifestation. I think I do, but I don't think it's like something that it's like, hoorah, I'm gonna like scream affirmations in the mirror and hope I become that person. But I know that how you identify yourself is who you become. And I identified myself as an athlete the entire time I was growing up and up into my 20s. That identity served me for a long period of time until it didn't, until it was stripped from me. And because of the fact that I did not have any other identity, I didn't have any other sort of idea of who I was one-dimensional. And it didn't serve me in the world. It didn't serve me in the marketplace. It didn't serve me with people. It didn't serve me with business. It didn't serve me with kind of my career, my future. You know, I think it's okay that you can identify as like, if I'm an artist or if I play the cello or if I sing or what have you, like that's fine. I understand that. But you have to make sure that how you identify yourself is who you actually want to be. And so it limited me for a very long time. And that limiting belief kept me stuck for quite a long time, kept me broke for quite a long time. And so you are who you say you are, and you are who you listen to. And if you want to become something else, somebody else, start talking to yourself differently. Start identifying yourself as something different. Okay? If you want to be a business person, you have to become that in your brain before you are that. Because you need to do the things that a business person does. You need to do the things that an artist does before you're actually an artist. Now, I'm not saying you just say it, and once you say it, you're it. No, you need to actually do it, right? But you start to do it more once you identify as it. Okay, that's number one. Number two is you can only learn from mistakes, but those mistakes don't have to be yours. You can read books, you can learn from other people, you can learn, okay, they made that mistake, I'm not going to make that same mistake. You can have conversations with people that are older that have more wisdom and understand that, okay, they did this and it didn't work out, okay, I'm not going to do that. But you can only learn from mistakes. So if you're afraid to make mistakes, if you're afraid to fail, then you're really not going to move anywhere. And if also you don't gather information from people, if you don't look toward people who you want to become and you don't ask them questions on what they failed at or what they had done and why it went wrong and what they would do instead. And instead of asking, somebody who's 50 years old, billionaire business person, like what you're doing now to make more money, ask them what they did at your age to make money, or what would they do in your situation to do that, and what would you avoid. Okay, I always kind of look at the inverse of this, of like, how can I fail absolutely? How can I make sure that I'm not successful? And then just do the opposite. Okay. So I believe that books are a shortcut to life, but I also believe that there's a time delay on there. Because if all you do is read and all you do is gather information, you don't execute, and you can't make mistakes. So you gotta learn from other people, learn from their mistakes, but then also learn from yours as well. You're not down and out if you make 5, 10, 15 mistakes. You're only down and out if you stop. Number 3, happiness does not come from having more. It comes from gratitude with less. And I think happiness wholeheartedly is a choice. You may disagree with me, but I think being happy is a choice that you can make for yourself. No matter how many resources you have, no matter where you are, no matter who you're with, no matter how terrible the situation that you may be in right now, I think you can choose to be happy with what you have. You have 2 legs, you have 2 arms, you have a brain, and your brain still functions. I think there's things you can be happy for. Okay, you can be happy for the morning coffee you can have happiness for the morning walk. You can have happiness for your family still being alive. You can have happiness for anything. Just choose to be grateful for it. And it doesn't come from having more. It comes from being more grateful with less. It comes from using the less that you have and using it in a way that is powerful, like having gratitude, serving people, etc. It costs nothing to be grateful. It costs nothing to serve people. And the most expensive things in life can't be bought. Can't be bought. Speaking of money, number 4 is money buys freedom, access, and control, but it doesn't complete you. Best thing about money is that you don't have to be around people you don't want to be around. You don't have to do things that you don't want to do. You can control your environment. You can control certain things that you do and where you go, but it doesn't complete your life. And money doesn't come from purpose. It buys you the freedom to be able to pursue that purpose. So I do believe that part of your goal should be to make money. But if you're making money in a environment or in an industry that you don't like, you shouldn't be doing it. I think everybody has ample opportunity to monetize the things that they like. And you don't have to be making money in a way in which that you don't like just because it makes money. I think that's a bad way of looking at it. I think you should look at something that you enjoy doing, that you can do for a long period of time, because it's the lunatics who make the money. And you can only be a lunatic if you really love what you do and you're infatuated by it and crazy for the thing that you do. Speaking of that, number 5 is think of your wants before you think of your needs. Now, this is an interesting one because I don't see many people talking about this. People will say, I want to move to Europe, but I need to make money, so I have this job in the United States. I'm on the side of do what you want, figure out how to satisfy your needs when you get there. So move to Europe and then figure out how to make money in Europe. It's like, I want kids, but I can't have them because I need to make money. I need to have money for the kids. No, you're not making money because you don't have kids. Get the kids because you want the kids, have the kids with your wife or your husband, and then figure out how to make money to support the children. And I think those things give you pressure. And I think pressure and stress in controlled environments like that are good. Where it's like, if you really want a kid and you're really ready for the kid emotionally, physically, mentally, and your partner is too, have the children and then figure out how to make the money. Because you will figure out how to make the money once you have the children. You're probably broke because you don't have the children yet. And also, if you want to move somewhere, move there and then figure it out when you get there. I mean, I have so many stories from traveling around in Europe of like people who went from like so many different places in the world and had nothing and came here and figured it out because they wanted a better opportunity. I know people from Latin America, I know people from Russia, I know people from Ukraine that came here because there was an opportunity. They needed to make money, but they wanted to be in Europe. And so they did what they wanted to do, and then they figured out their needs when they got there. And I think that makes for a much happier life. Number 6 is real friends are few and far beyond. I used to have a pretty big social circle in the United States. I appreciate the time that I spent with them. I appreciate everything that had occurred throughout that time with them. But people only want you to do well, but not better than them. As soon as you start to do better than them, whatever in which way that means, whether it's, you're making money or whether it's you seem happier or whatever, blah, blah. Most people look at that as a win-lose. They think, I must be losing because somebody else is winning. A perfect example is like people love to hate. Like Alex Hormozi did like a 9-figure launch recently for his book. And there was somebody on LinkedIn that was like just 400 comments on this LinkedIn post of all these people just like bashing him and bashing him and bashing him and bashing him. It's like, well, the guy is so dang successful and he's giving away all of his best stuff for free. And then the one time that he charges for stuff, he gets all this flack. And it's like, the reason why those people will never do 9 figures in their life is because they're mad because somebody else did. And somebody else was so successful. And if you get mad off of other people's success, then you're gonna not do well in life. It's just pretty much predetermined. And most of my friends were like that. And I think most people are like that. And it's unfortunate because the only thing in life that's a win-lose is the stock market. If I buy a stock and somebody sold it to me and I make money on the stock, then I made money on the stock and they lost money on shorting the stock. Win-lose. It's a zero-sum game. But life is not zero-sum. If somebody does better and you can see that, you can be like, well, that means that it's possible. Like my friend, they're doing well and they do better than me. It's like, wow, that's a possibility for me. That means it exists. That means that I can actually do that because you know what? He's my friend. We know each other. He or she's my friend. We know each other. And you know what? I can do that too. And I think the best people in your life want you to do better than them. They want to support you to aid in that effort of success. It really comes down to like, do you want people to do well or not? Because you can determine who's your really good friend by just telling them something good that happened to you and see how they react. And if they react in any other way that's not positive, then they're not your friend. And I'll give you another example of this as well, a story. When I started Adstra 3-4 years ago, you know, I went from making money to making nothing because I got fired from my job. And I posted it on Instagram. And when I posted it, everybody, all my friends were like, oh, dude, this is awesome. You're going to do so great. It's amazing. Good for you. Da, 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 da. I'm so excited. Da, 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 da. And then started to do actually pretty well. And we have a team of 15 people and we've had over 1,000 customers and crickets from those people. Absolutely crickets. The best people in life, the best friends that you will have in your life are inspired when other people do well. Be very aware of that. When other people do well, when it could be an influencer, it can be somebody in the world does well, see how they react to that. See if they get pessimistic or see if they get kind of jaded from it. A really good example of this too, and I'll move on after this, is the 4-minute mile was not broken, or the 5-minute mile, I forget. I think it was the 4-minute mile. Was not broken for a very long time. Like it was just never broken for many years. And one day, one dude broke the 4-minute mile. He ran it in like 3 minutes and 58 seconds or whatever. That same year, like 100 other people broke it as well. So once you see one person do something, that gave me chills saying that. Because once you see somebody do something and they rewrite the narrative on what's possible, it unlocks it for everybody else, but it unlocks it for the right people. And you should have those people as friends, is my point. Number 7, if you feel uninspired and if you feel like you have a lack of creativity or you feel like you don't know what to do next, you feel like a little brain fog, travel to another place, go to a different country, go across the pond, go to wherever, and spend a week doing nothing. Take some time off, spend a week, do nothing, walk around, enjoy yourself, have a lovely time, speak to people that don't know your language, go to do new things, go to new shops, go to new places, and this creativity will just boil up inside of you because people do different things at different places. And I'm in Budapest now, and this place is remarkable. I mean, the people are remarkable. I'm having conversations with everybody that I can, possibly have conversations with. And that's how I came up with the idea for this video. I couldn't tell you, but creativity doesn't come from like trying to be creative. Creativity comes from like having an open mind and being in novel areas. And it's the greatest creativity hack of all time. And as soon as I started to travel, the ideas that have been flowing through me has been abundant. So that's my recommendation for you want to feel inspired, if you want to feel creative, travel. Number 8, being able to deliver a message, write with emotion, and write to sell is a top 2 skill, and it's not 2, and will be the most relevant over the next few decades. And let me break this down. In an AI world where everything's written in AI and AI people and the greatest skill is to be able to lead, to deliver a message, and to curate emotion in people with your beliefs and your opinions and your ideas on a global scale. Because what's going to be the most meaningful over the next decade is who you are, your personal brand. And you can only build a personal brand if you can deliver a message via text or via writing or via voice. It's the only way to do it. And especially in the AI world where everything is so boilerplate, where there is just an abundance of information, it's not having so much information is the benefit. It's having good information, having curated information. Like Tim Ferriss can
can write so well, can speak so well. And all he has done is, throughout his entire career, is curated information from many different resources and sources. And so people like to listen to him, people like to watch him, people like to read things from him, is because he reads all this stuff and curates it and distills it into the most powerful message possible. And so Ernest Hemingway has this quote where he said, "Sorry, the letter was too long. I didn't have enough time." It takes work to be succinct and to deliver a powerful message. And that's where mountains can be moved, because you can do anything if people will listen to you. People will only listen to you and read from you if you have something powerful to say. That's it. So that's what I believe is the most powerful skill over the next few decades. Quick and easy is never good and long lasting. So we all know, like, the people who win the lottery and then 60% of them 3 years later lose it all. This is kind of my same idea on OnlyFans as well. Hey, no harm, no foul. I'm glad people find ways to make money. That's fine. If that makes your life better, sure. But quick and easy money and quick and easy things never have meaning. You never really understand that what I have created is meaningful unless you work really, really hard for it over a long period of time. If you work really hard for it or with it or on it over a long period of time, you don't appreciate the money, you appreciate the skill that you've accrued, you appreciate the time and effort you put in, you appreciate the fact that now you have true confidence. And true confidence comes from doing something over a long period of time and having proof that you are who you say you are. And if you just rely on something quick and easy and you can make money from that or whatever, you're not going to appreciate it, or you're not going to appreciate your life, and it's going to feel very empty. And this kept me stuck for a long time, because when I wasn't able to play professional baseball, I was looking for quick, easy ways to make money. In the stock market, drop shipping, whatever, blah, blah. First of all, most of the time, like, really never works. But I know for some people it has. I got a buddy who made a lot of money with Bitcoin. He put like $17,000 and it made like 1.2 million. And he lost it all. It's like inevitable, right? Because you don't appreciate it. A really good recommendation, if you want to learn more about that, is the Rockefeller wrote letters to his son. And Rockefeller made a whole bunch of money, but he taught his son how to struggle, because you need to struggle to appreciate life. And struggle is a part of life, and it's what gives life purpose. Truly, it's what gives life purpose. Last one here, number 10. Times where you struggle the most are going to be the times you look back on and miss the most. Whew. So that's a powerful one, because in the moment of struggle, you feel the most pain. You feel the most deprived. You feel the most at a loss, hopeless, etc. But it's such a dang good story to tell once you get through it. And that's what gets me through all this pain, and especially the pain of almost being homeless and having $700 in my bank account and having $12,000 in debt and not knowing if I can pay rent in 27 days and figuring out how to get that client in that 27-day period to pay for rent, and sleeping on couches here and going here and sleeping on more couches and just figuring it out as time went on. I mean, it's such a dang good story to tell. And I look back and I'm like, that's the most motivated I ever was. And that's the most grit that I showed myself. That's the proudest I think I can be of myself so far, is that I was able to see past that, see through that, and the only way out is through. And so if you're in a bad situation, just know that that's going to be a story that you tell your children. It's going to be a story you tell future friends. It's going to be the story you tell yourself as to why you're worth it in this world. And you're going to look back and you're going to say, I'm so thankful for that time. I'm so thankful that happened to me, because if it didn't, I wouldn't be here now. Last thing I'll leave you with is, we don't know the ramifications or the consequences of good things now or bad things now over the course of your life. So the story of the Chinese farmer is a simple one, but there was a Chinese farmer and his son. He had neighbors, and one day one of his horses ran away, and all the neighbors came over, and neighbors were like, "Oh, that must be so sad. Like, you lost your horse. That must be terrible." And he said, "We'll see." Shortly after, the horse came back with 7 more horses. Hooray. Okay.
The neighbor's like, oh, you must be so happy. Like, you got more horses now. That's great. He said, we'll see. And then his son one day tried to break in one of the horses, was riding it, and broke his hip. The neighbors figured it out, and the neighbors said, wow, that must be terrible. I'm so sorry for your son. He said, we'll see. And then the military came, the Chinese military came, and the Chinese military said, well, we can't take your son and enlist him in the military because he has a broken hip. I know you probably know where I'm going with this. Neighbors came by again and said, you must be so grateful that your son doesn't have to go to the military. And he said, we'll see. And what I'll leave you with here is that we don't know the consequences or the ramifications of what happens today. And often, things that happen good to you are often a bad lesson, because it could have been luck, and it could have just happened upon you, and it could have just been serendipitous. And then that teaches you the lesson of continuing to stay exactly as you are, but it doesn't mean that it actually was the reason why you were successful. And bad things, we tend to harp on bad things very often and for a long period of time. But the bad thing that happens to you now might just be the reason why you're successful in 5 years. Thanks for watching. Again, my name is Jake. I'm the founder of Adstra. If you want to get some stuff, check out the description. We have a school community, which I show people how to book their first call, gets their first 10K per month, or generate 100K per month and beyond to book 100 plus qualified calls. So if you're a business owner and that's what you want, you can join there. $97 a month, but if you don't like it in 30 days, you get your money back. We've had a lot of really great success in that group. Also have a free PDF, 69 page report that shows you how to do the process on booking more calls for your business. And if you want to just skip all that and just book a call with our team to see if we can help you do it, and see if you're a fit, feel free to book a call below. As always, thanks for watching. I'm Jake. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe, let me know, and I'll see you next time.